Hi, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Paul, and this is
Along the Way.
Glad to have you with us. So today we're going to talk about volunteers part 2.
Yep.
Okay.
There'll be a whole series of different topics, but we're just going to give little mini tidbits.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be the second one.
Okay. So our focus today is going to be on what doesn't work in getting volunteers. And if you've been in ministry for any length of time, you've probably run into some of these brick walls and will recognize them as we bring them up. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
No, why don't you?
All right, number one, what doesn't work? Bulletins.
Yeah, just putting it in the bulletin does not mean you will have a ton of people offering to help.
It's good to keep in mind that in our generation, people aren't reading like they did perhaps in our parents' generation. They're not taking what they see in the bulletin as seriously, I guess. But also keep in mind, people are busy.
Yeah.
And they forget. So they can see the announcement in the bulletin and say, oh, yeah, I really want to do that. And by the time the service is over, their mind has been in a million places. They've got a million things to do, and they forget. So bulletins doesn't work.
No.
Another one that doesn't work.
Sometimes texts do, but it's more that one-on-one combination of talking to the person and texting with the person.
Right. So whatever we mention that doesn't work, the opposite of that is always personal connection. So another one that doesn't work are public announcements from the pulpit. You'd like to think that maybe it would, but for the same reason. People are busy.
Right.
They forget. So even if you grab their interest in an announcement, by the time the service is over, that's probably not where their mind is at.
Right.
So announcements don't work. Now, that doesn't mean don't do them.
No.
That's those bulletins, texting, those are all follow-up and add-ons to the personal connection.
What was that marketing thing that a person has to see or hear something
At least,
8 times?
At least 6.
At least 6.
Before they begin to really register that they've seen it at all, they need to see it at least 6 times.
That doesn't mean say it 6 times during the service.
Nope.
That won't work.
What is good is if you can make it visible 6 different ways. That can help a lot. But still, there's no replacement for keeping it personal. Another one that doesn't work. Guilt.
Oh.
To lay on a guilt trip like, if we don't get you involved in this, our kids' ministry is just going to fall apart. That's really unfair to them, and if we're honest, it's not even true. Ministries don't fall apart because somebody won't step up just because you ask them. There's a host of reasons why ministries might fall apart. But trying to make a person feel guilty, and that being the reason it falls apart, no, it's not legitimate.
No,
and it's
guilt
not
and
fair.
shame just don't work.
They just don't work. Again, it's the exact opposite of being personal. So, one thing you can do in being personal, you ask them face to face, give them a short time to respond. Ask them to pray about it, let them know you'd like to get back in a week. And then make sure you get back in a week and be ready to sign them up if they say yes, on the spot. Sign them up on the spot if they say yes. If they say no, thank them and tell them how much you appreciate them, and you're done with that individual conversation.
I think the other thing is Sunday mornings don't necessarily work.
Right.
Everybody's been in a rush. I don't know about you folks, but when our children were little, getting them all together to be dressed on time, to get out the door and be on time for church was always a struggle. And it wasn't too bad once they got older, because I'd go to church and they go on their own. Of course, we had the advantage of living in the parsonage, which was usually right next to the church. So I knew where they were and they knew where I was.
So if Sunday morning doesn't work, how do we get?
Well, I think Sunday morning works.
Okay.
But I think you have to follow it up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just leave it on Sunday morning. Oh yeah, I meant to. Oh, I forgot. You know, those are common
Mm-hmm.
mistakes that are and comments
Mm-hmm.
that happen
Mm-hmm.
if you leave it to just Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I'm constantly telling people, if you want something from the pastor, don't ask him on Sunday morning.
Very true.
Because everybody asks him on Sunday morning. So it's just too rushed of a time,
Yeah.
and you can't sit there and write everything down that people say to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same for our people. They've got all different directions they're going. Sunday school, morning worship. They might be helping with children's church. They might be helping with the nursery, preparing a meal for
Mm-hmm.
fellowship, all sorts of things that they have on their minds
Yeah.
as well. And then they might be having guests over for dinner after church,
Right.
which if your body is one of the ways to help it grow, and this is off topic,
Mm-hmm.
is to have a fellowship after church in people's homes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyways, that's another subject, another time.
It is. I hope this has been helpful. Keep it personal. Keep it personal. Follow up. When you say that you are going to check in a week, check in a week. You pray with them as they're praying about it as well. But keep it personal.
So this is Lynn,
And this is Paul.
and we're
Along the way, we appreciate your joining us.
we really appreciate it, and we thank you for your prayer support. We're starting to hear from people that they're praying for us, and we really, really appreciate that. So if you will help us by sharing this video, liking and subscribing to YouTube, that will help it get noticed by more and more people as well.
Yes. Yes, please put your comments and your questions below. If we can answer your questions, we certainly will. We appreciate them very much. We appreciate you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Along the way. And that's Paul.
And Lynn.
There we go. Bye-bye.